All right, so let's recap last week. I'm gonna go into this week. So I hope everybody made money last week. I'm gonna go into the main setups from last week. I'm gonna go over everything we marked up last week, but I'm gonna go into the main setup. So remember, we were talking about this here being near a weekly level, and we talked about this consolidation in this range for Euro USD. So the first part played out, but when it came to this trend line right here, it rejected. Then we had this. Now at this point, this was when I reanalyzed, and then after it broke this resistance zone that was here. Hold on, let me put this on auto so y'all can see. After it broke this resistance zone here, I had this TP1 set right here. Before the market opened, I had this set. This already kind of started playing out, but I have it pushed into this trend line right here. Once that's finished done, before you take a trade on Euro USD, you need to wait for the breakout of this bottom trend line here, okay? If you are looking to take that net sell, but it's literally sitting at a TP right now. This morning, let me scoot this over. So it kind of actually gapped down when the market opened, but I have it pushed into this trend line and then looking to see, okay, is it gonna break it or reject it? If it rejects it, then it's gonna come back up here. And you see this is already starting to form a minor. Remember, minor structure can always easily be broken, but it's already starting to form a minor level of resistance at this negative 27 TP1 area. Okay, so if y'all need me to regurgitate this overall fib so y'all can see it. But Euro USD, remember that was like the main trade about 2 weeks ago, because we were all the way down here when we first started to see that divergence, and I was like, oh, this about to bang. And then I just been waving or weaving in and out of it, because I don't like when I took this buy right here, I'm not about to let the market pull all the way back. So take a buy, place my order, wait for it to pull back, take another buy, place the order, then wait for it to pull back, place another one. Some people just like to sit in a trade and ride it through. I like, if I'm gonna be in a trade, I need to make these quick little pips right here, okay? Then we gonna let that ride back. We not about to go 77 pips up to get a market back 51 of them. I'm sorry, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. But the only way you can, sorry, I just got a text message that threw me off. The only way you can not do that or understand how not to do that is by understanding that minor structure, okay? And then here, that next push, remember we had it going to this monthly trend line here. Then we had the break of that, and then last week, no, not last week, the week before last, we ended with this consolidation. Then last week, that's when we talked about this move here. And then again, at this point where you have rejection right here, that was like, okay, well, this is about to push up. Okay, so we had here this break of this resistance, then carried it to the major fib is here, point A to point B, price pull back, then that's TP1. Okay, got it? So right here, again, do not take a sell on this until this trend line is broken. Let me actually go ahead and set a little alert right there. And the reason this is important is because you never trade without confirmation, right? Like, you can know the direction all day long, but your confirmation is like, okay, this is this, let me do this because of this. Like at the beginning of the week, when I mark up all my pairs and like look at the best setups, like last week, GU, literally after Sunday hit, I was still in one GU trade and pulled one, and then I traded GJ. Now, GJ, I'm going to go over in a second, but GU was just beautiful. Remember last week, we talked about the buy to here. That resistance level was perfect, but it had not yet made a higher high. So I was waiting to see how it was going to kind of play around in this area. That's why I took my first profit there. That's when I put that message out in the group. Literally, this was actually Sunday night. Was it Sunday night or Monday night? I know it was by Monday for sure. Y'all remember?
I think Sunday, because
Yeah.
I took GU, and I think like Sunday to Monday, I TP Monday morning, because it had made went up to, huh?
I said, go ahead.
Oh. Yes, I TP'd at that zone, and then it just kind of for the rest of the week it just kind of played around and just consolidated.
Yeah, no, but it was still good moves though, because when it TP'd here, it just made a perfect pullback. So like this
It
is
did.
minor structure also, but I don't want to confuse y'all with this for people that don't understand minor structure. This is literally point A to point B and a negative 61.8 on minor structure, which made our second trend line bounce. So hopefully, do y'all see that fib within that fib? Do y'all see it? Maybe if I delete that now, you can see it. So we have our point A, point B, then they made a kind of like a double bottom here, then shot down to TP here. But that's a minor structure inside this major structure. I was only looking for major structure because I didn't have time to be on no minor structure or nothing last week, okay? And that just comes with like even in the course with my students, like I don't teach you whether you want to be an intraday trader, swing trader, or scalper. Like that's your personality. That's how much time you got. That depends on you. If you understand structure, you can trade all of the ways. It's just a matter of understanding what you're doing. So this was a minor structure. Then it literally pulled back here, back tested this green trend line here. This should actually be blue. Let me make this blue. For 1 hour. So it back tested, and this one should not exist. Okay. So it back tested here. Then this was the second trend line bounce for an actual trend line to be drawn. So anytime you have 2 points, you just connect the 2 points drawn into the future. Then that's when we had this negative 27 hit. I was done looking at GU by this point after this one hit. And then y'all see that the major structure played out in regards to pulling back again and then hitting our negative 61.8, which is where we are now. Okay, so y'all already know negative 61.8 means reversal. Okay, so look for GU to drop, but I really only have it. The confirmed is let it fall to this level of, this is starting to be a minor structure of resistance. Let it fall here. Look and see if you have rejection. If you have rejection, it could bounce up one more time. If it breaks, it's gonna retest and fall to this trend line. Let me extend this out, okay? But if it comes here and it bounces and tests as a level of support, it'll push up again. But again, trade what you see, not what you think. So wait for confirmation, but this is coming to here. It's not even that many more pips at this point though. It's probably only about, I'll say that's like 25 pips. So if you're a scalper, you can take advantage of that. But like, until you, like, what am I trying to say right now? Because this is a, do y'all see this solid line right here? This solid line? Y'all see this? Solid line.
Yes.
All right, what is the solid line? Let me see if y'all know before I state it.
Monthly.
It's a monthly level.
Got a monthly level.
Yeah.
Monthly level.
Line is a monthly.
Right, supply zone.
It's a monthly level.
Harder. It's gonna be harder to break, right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying like wait for your confirmation, because even if I draw, I mean, really this kind of little range that's been consolidating all to the left between the high of this and the low of this. Y'all see that? The high and the low of this. I don't want to drag this all the way over. But really, I can. It's literally sitting on there right now, but this resistance zone was broken with no retest. So I do foresee this pulling to here. And then after that, that's why I'm saying once it gets to that level, you know, sometimes you have those trades that's clear as day, like on, like last week when I was like, y'all getting GU. Right now, where it is, okay, this can pull back. But with this one, it's two scenarios. If it pulls back and you have rejection, it's going to come to this foundation level here. If it breaks it, it's coming to this trend line here before it continues to there. Does that make sense? Is that clear for everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in trading, remember when I move, you move just like that, like the song. So don't try to control the market. Don't try to put it in a box. Let the market tell you where it's going. Don't try to complicate it. Don't try to look too far into the future. Like literally look at it step by step, because it's literally a guide and a map and it's telling you a puzzle. Okay. So here on GJ, where this is, this little here. So GJ on the 4 hour, Okay, well, let's talk about last week and then we'll go into this week. So last week, whose microphone is that? Can y'all mute yourself? I don't know.
Someone is sleeping.
Is that somebody sleep? Y'all know I love y'all in my other countries, but
It's
y'all,
only somebody is out. Very cool.
they be hopping on
Don't
the.
mind me. It's almost 2 a.m. here in Nigeria, so I'm feeling sleepy.
Okay, well, don't go to sleep on me.
Okay, all right.
Don't go to sleep on me, okay? I appreciate your
I'm
good
not sleeping. Don't
every
worry.
week. 2 a.m. though, okay? All right, so look, y'all, with GJ last week. So this was my GJ from last week. Let me go down the time frame. So GJ from last week, we were in this range. I had a buy for GJ. At this negative 27, I actually thought it was going to break and go because it was a foundation level here also, which was this monthly level. But like Euro USD, it only went to the TP1s. So, and gold only went to TP1 too last week for all of those fibs. So here, this did not go further past this point, but it did hit this negative 27. And then boom, 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 break, retest. This was a clear day drop here. But I already made my money from GU on another entry, so I wasn't tripping on DJ. But that was that. Let me go to the 4 hours so y'all can see this. This 4 hour trend line at the bottom, do y'all see this? Bounce, bounce, bounce. That's where GJ is right now. So we just made another 4 hour trend line right here. Do you see that? I mean, I'm sorry, not a 4 hour trend line. We just made another bounce on 4 hour structure for GJ. So I still have GJ going in a buy for actual major structure. It's just pulling back right now on this pullback zone. So I'm gonna look and see, like, once it tests these highs here as consolidation, it could come back to the trend line again. So that's why I have like this little short bars, because this is the right now money. And then after this plays out, then once, I haven't drawn a fib on here yet, but I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna go once it happens. Or once I have confirmation for my fib to be drawn here. I'm gonna draw a fib here, but I want a higher high to be formed first, because this is, y'all know my TP levels for major structure are, well, really all structures. I can't say major structure. My TP levels in general are negative 27 and negative 61.8, right? You can draw those inside of major and minor structure, okay? Your minor structure is your right now move. Your major structure is your overall move. But where we are with GJ, right, just like GU, we're in this consolidation range, and there is no higher high that is technically formed in regards to the major structure, okay? Now there is a minor structure higher high, but it's still not to, and what I'm talking about is this. So price was here, you see? So there is a minor structure. This is higher than this high, but this low is also lower than this low. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not drawing a fib on there yet until I have confirmation for that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody? Because with this range that we're looking at, this is technically that high level. Hold on. This will, well, really that whole zone I have is that high level. So until I have something breaking that, I'm not drawing my fib there yet, because this is kind of like the range that's kind of going on with Euro JPY right now. And we'll go over that also. But I do have GJ going into a buy. This is just a minor structure, but I need a few more confirmations first. And I need some trend lines or some breaks. So I'm not entering this until I have confirmation for it, because I kind of want to see how this ranges. Like morning for London session, we'll probably have some candles pull back. Look and see if it tests this low. If you're a scalper, you can definitely take advantage of this. Me, I just got too much going on to be like staring at the market. So I like setting my alerts and having my confirmations and retests and stuff like that. But if you're a scalper and you trade minor structure and you have your break and retest, you can definitely take advantage of those smaller moves that's inside of the major moves. Okay, 100%. So wait for this to pull back, then form a next high, and then after, especially once this breaks this resistance level, then we in for a bang, right? But right now, again, like we're still in this zone. You see? Everybody clear on that?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes.
And then another reason why I need confirmation on that is because what I need to happen is I really foresee price coming back up to this high, like actually a real significant strong pullback. But the reason that I said wait for your confirmations before is because technically this is an impulse, right? But where this impulse is, because this pullback is ranging here and we don't have an actual strong pullback to range, we need something like this, then drop. Overall, now this is major structure. This is what takes weeks to play out. So we don't, like, y'all know I'm not, how do I say this? Major structure is just as important as minor structure because you need to know the overall move, but major structure is not your right now money. So you really don't need to be worried about it in terms of your day-to-day trading if you're a day trader. Make sense? Hopefully it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, but long term, mark my words, that's what's gonna happen on DJ. So it will be a sell, but that was a very strong impulse and we don't have a very strong correction, but we have a very strong consolidation level that we're sitting in right now, okay? Euro JPY, remember last week, that was a beautiful trade that I was mad that I missed here, over here, right here, this one. Boom, boom, boom. Like, and the crazy thing is because when we did the call, it had just wicked down here, right? And it pushed back up. And if this big bearish candle had not even been made at that time. And I talked to Omar later on that night and he was like, did you look at Euro JPY? And I was like, no. And then I looked at it and I was pissed again. So that was actually very annoying. But where we just had it right here, I had it falling to this trend line of where we are now, which the market opened and it's already been falling to this trend line. Y'all see it's not breaking. Like when you see a candle like this is a learning lesson. When you see a candle like this, that doesn't mean that this is broken, okay? Because when you see a candle like this, what matters is how the candle closes. So what time is it? We'll look in 5 minutes and see what this candle does because there's something that's called wick exhaustion, which is basically you see over here all to the left where we have tests of this zone all throughout here. That does not mean that something is broken. And students, y'all know exactly what that means when I always talk about, no, the bot says it needs to break and push away and come back. Don't just hop in a sell right here. Now, if you hopped in a sell right here when the market opened, you Gucci, and this is an easy, quick little 50 pips, right? But you see how this is like forming like this? You see that?
Hey, Jess,
Yes. Hey, Bestie.
hey, what's up? I was just gonna say too, something for everybody to pay attention to, like how you drawn that beautiful trend line, and like you just said, as it relates to waiting to the candles close. A lot of times, like the markets are manipulated based on those obvious, like that obvious structure. So that's why you'll see some wick exhaustion because everybody knows, or the big markets know that people are like sitting there waiting on that trend line or waiting for it to break. And people a lot of times will jump in before it actually closes. So that's how people get caught with that. So just, that's a very good point in terms of like making sure you're waiting until it closes because it's just a trap a lot of times.
Right.
So.
Well, and to confirm, we would want a small correction after it breaks, a small bearish correction before we would even enter for a sell after a trend line break anyway, right?
Look at y'all, okay? That's my best friend. Y'all know that song? Okay, just gonna shut up. Y'all know I'm like lame on the low, right? Okay, anyway. But yes, Christopher, that's absolutely right. Thanks, bestie. Philip. Gian asked me one time, she was like, why you call him best friend and you don't call him Philip? Like his name is Philip. I was like, I don't know. That's just what I say. But I'll do that with everybody in my family. Like my sister, I never call her by her name. I'll be like, hey, sister. And my cousin, I'll be like, hey, cousin. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so Euro JPY, like Christopher said, if we have a break of this is consolidating though. So I really see this could push back up like and consolidate in this range. And mind you, this is the whole level that we've been looking at for literally the last 2 weeks, even when we were here, all through here. So really it's just at this level. But as Christopher mentioned, before you take a sell on this, period, point blank, you need a break and retest of this trend line. So that's it. Not even a break and retest of the trend line alone, a break and retest of the zone too. But when it gets to this zone, it's gonna consolidate like it's been doing all through here, right? That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Alrighty. UJ, I see UJ going into a buy, actually a beautiful buy setup. I haven't marked this up, but over here, okay, this will hit TP1 on this fib. Only reason I'm looking over here is because I need to see how far, or let me see something. I'm trying to see where price structure is. Give me a second. Because remember, what was the significant thing we've been talking about for the longest with UJ literally past 5 weeks? It was at a what? In between a what? Come on, y'all. Like, y'all been on UJ. We've been on UJ for a minute. When all in this consolidation, everything. What was we talking about?
Weekly trend.
Daily and weekly.
Yes, the weekly, not just the weekly foundation level. This was a daily trend line, which was why we were talking about all of that consolidation and everything, remember? So this is, we're at a weekly. Then we remember UJ, and this was like literally the whole time I was in DC. Remember we talked about UJ being at trend line all right here, which was why it did not reverse at that negative 61.8. Let me just regurgitate y'all thought process real quick. We were at this weekly trend line, which means consolidation, okay? And then I said, be very careful because above that weekly trend line is a daily level, okay? Price broke the daily. Then this was when we had that analyzation like a week and a half ago of this consolidating move, right? Then we came to here, this hit, boom, boom, and then it's still been consolidating on this daily trend line. Then we had a break of that daily trend line, a retest of that daily trend line, then the fall of that daily of where we are now. So now really I really want to keep that fib opposed to adjusting it, but we'll just adjust it. So let's drag our zones over because this is a very significant level of resistance here, okay? And this is a very significant level of support here, which is why we drew them. So that support zone is sitting on that negative 27. So wait for this to finish falling to here, which you don't have too many more pips left, but wait for it to finish falling to that negative 27 here, and then let UJ shoot it. Y'all see that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really just let the opposite of what's happening happen. So that sounded like such a paradox. Basically what I'm saying is, let me find something. I want to find something that's over here that I can kind of see, but I feel like it's going to be consolidating. I was about to drag this over, but I feel like it's going to be more of a consolidating move opposed to just this. I feel like that's going to be too easy. But more or less, wait for it to finish coming to this negative 27, and then at that negative 27, let me actually put an alert there. Oops, sorry. At that negative 27, okay, at that negative 27, is it? No, that is not how my alerts look. Where is my, what's happening? No, This is not how this works. Wait. Okay, let me do it like I usually do it. Let me just, I don't know why that alert is right there, or I don't know what I just did for that one, but okay. I'll figure out how to delete that other one in a few. But anyway, so once it comes to this -27, look for price to push up. Also to confirm that push up, draw a trend line once this structure kind of finishes forming to have a break and retest of that trend line. Now I'm looking way into the future, but I feel like I can do that. But for the people that aren't that good at trading yet or not really good at seeing the future, you always want to take price step by step. So you want to look at what is price showing you right now before you move on to the next thing. And then after you have this here, it'll probably be a minor pullback to this weekly level. This is looking way in the future, but I'm gonna just draw it on here so that in a couple of weeks I can just for shits and giggles be like, look y'all, right? So let's say like kind of like this. No, not like that. Not that part. Kind of like this. Hold on. Philip.
What up?
Like this.
What's up?
Tell me if you see cake on here. Go mark up your cake.
I already see it. Yeah, I actually was in USD CHF for that though, but they kind of reacting similar. So yeah, I'm expecting to pull back to where you just placed it.
That's the best part. Let me tell y'all the best part. I have an accountability partner, but we trade two opposite different ways, like completely opposite. And Philip's a swing trader and I'm not. But when you just got like somebody that you know you rock with and they just like, yeah, but you know, like the best part, like he even told me this, like, you know, to slap something on it, that mean use a heavy lot. So that mean go hard when we got the same thing, because it's like we trade two opposite, completely different ways, but when we have the exact same analysis based off of trading two different ways, it just be like, bet, okay? But anyway, so okay, so this is my UJ trade for the week, y'all. So -27 first here, foundation level, okay? Then pull back, small break and retest of minor structure here. Then this is sitting on this, oh no, this black line, I'm sorry, I just said that wrong. This black line is not a foundation level. This black line that I just drew was the alert that, so let me change that color so I don't misguide you guys. The dotted one is the weekly, because I just looked at it, I was like, why are these so close together? That's not right. That was the alert that I just drew because I don't know why this ugly, big, ugly orange alert is here. I need to delete that. I don't even know how, I never even seen my alert look like that before. But anyways, it's supposed to like this little purple. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Okay, yeah. So look, so this, and then this is the weekly. Remember, weeklies, we have consolidation, which is basically the consolidation is playing out now, but expect it to happen to the left too, just like over here. We have it all through this range. And then once you have a break of this resistance zone here, look to have a small pullback and then carry it to that daily trend line there. All right. Got it. Okay.
Yes, got it.
Okay. I think that was the main ones. I think gold was the last one. So gold hit TP1 last week. This is what we talked about. And then this was the TP2 I had set, but it never hit. It just hit TP1. But TP1 gave us our second trend line bounce. So, oh, for rule of thumb, just so y'all know, I always place 2 orders to hit TP1. I never actually wait for TP2 in terms of a trade. I just wait for TP2 in terms of my reversals, okay? Because I just like getting in and out, right? So negative 61.8 is like, if you can just get 2 entries to hit the first one, why wait on the second one to happen? But regardless, okay. So this is at this trend line now on Euro USD here. Y'all see it? So the same thing with Euro JPY. Let's look and see how this, okay, so this actually came to this demand zone right here, right? It'll probably consolidate in this area, but still look to see and make sure this is broken. And what I mean by that is you need price to push away and come back. Anytime you have a break and a retest of a trend line, it's never price sitting on the trend line that validates a break and retest. It's price actually breaking structure and coming back to that point. So let me find examples and then I'll show you what I mean. Like this minor structure trend line here, right? With this green. We had this break, we had price actually push away and come back down, then go into a buy. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to y'all?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
yes, very
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
Okay, even if I draw like, same thing here. You have price push down and then come back, not just sit. So this is gonna, I mean, this is the 1 hour, so it'll probably be a couple of hours. It'll actually probably be up until London session where you'll have a couple candles like forming up and down right here on this space, right here. But make sure you have confirmation for your actual like trade. Right here, this is basically doing the same thing. Like they're both kind of sitting on trend lines. Here. So you will have to wait for a break and retest of this because remember the foundation level is right here. Okay. Y'all got it? But I am looking for a sell for Euro USD. Actually a sell to come here once this is broken and retested. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me actually, I'll delete this for now so it doesn't keep popping up while we're teaching. Let me go back to gold. All right, so where gold is, I have a sell for gold for the week, but draw a trend line on the bottom of this here. And remember the top range of this gold. So like this whole blue, anytime you see a blue zone, or I'm so sorry that this is a lot on y'all's eyes if you don't understand it. But actually, let me draw a major structure here on this gold. Okay, and we're literally sitting at negative 27 right here. So after this consolidation period is over, actually y'all can do this now, set an alert at the bottom trend line of gold. And then once that breaks and retests, you're carrying it to this black trend line. This black trend line, which is also basically a level of resistance from these 2 points here, kind of like that GU. Right, and that's easily like a good 200 something pips on gold.
Hey, Jess,
200
I
and
think
huh?
I think you was just on EU. Could you go to the 4 hour and see if you see on that drop that sale you was talking about? See if you see a head and shoulders before going back higher. You
Yes,
see right there?
yeah, I see it. So yes, so but still, that first level would be the that first level would be like here.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how it went like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Oh, that's so fun. Okay. Take some of it. Maybe it's so pretty. All right. So with gold, wait for this little, like, wait for this consolidation period to be over. And what I mean by consolidation period is just like making sure that the finish of this buy is continued, because it can literally go up to like as high as it wants in this blue range. But set that this trend line here, set an alert on there, because after that finishes, if it doesn't, like, I'm tired, I've been talking all day, okay? After it finishes this last little move in this little range, it's gonna break and retest this trend line, then come to here, okay? That's all I have to say. All right, but you wanna make sure that channel does not form for a while. That's what I'm saying, like set the alert. Don't just place the sell because Jessica said place the sell. Because remember, even when you place these sells or these buys, you need to make sure the structure that is currently in is done before you look into the future of the next move, right? So like, kind of like, I'm trying to find an example. Okay. So this is an example of what I was talking about in that EU. Let's look at this, and then this is going to be an example that I'm talking about here also, right? So if y'all follow me, let me use my annotation so that y'all see what I'm talking about. Do you see how here, this broke this trend line here, but it didn't close above it? Like, I'm sorry, it didn't completely break it. It wicked it up. Kind of what Philip was just referencing when I talked about that EJ, right? Which means that this still could have continued higher. You don't have confirmation for that up until the point where it breaks and then retests that trend line for the sell, which was that TP1 there, right? So the same thing here is you want to make sure, because even when you have divergence, you need to make sure price is finished diverging. Then you have the break, the retest, and then the drop. Make sense? Y'all got it?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right.
you.
No problem. Okay. Alrighty, well, y'all have a wonderful night. I told my friend I'm gonna do Bible study with her tonight. So I gotta
That
go.
is awesome.
Thanks.
I love Bible studies.
What scriptures you looking at the moment? If you don't mind me asking.
You say what?
What scriptures are you studying at the moment?
What?
Scriptures.
You said what scriptures? Is that
Yeah.
what scriptures? Okay, so we just actually, the funny thing about it is that we wanted to read Ecclesiastes because we needed to have a conversation on vanity. So
Okay.
we had a real in-depth talk about not being vain and understanding that God is the ultimate source and money doesn't matter, nothing matters. Money does matter like when you're living, but ultimately God is the ultimate source and you cannot place anything above him. Okay. So
Yes, that is right.
Amen.
the only way you're gonna continue to be blessed,
Amen.
only way you're gonna continue to be blessed and keep being blessed is to give back to others and just make sure you're living your life right. Because everybody in the world craves, whether it's fire or success or I don't know, like confirmation for other people. At the end of the day, don't nothing matter except you and your relationship with God and then your family and everything.
You better say that.
So actually, we've been doing it for like a month. Like the first week we read Job. And y'all know that's the book of faith. So really just like understanding that in all things, even if God takes away everything away from you, even if you don't understand why. And y'all know Job went through a lot. So I don't know what y'all dealing with or whatever the case may be, but imagine your whole family being taken away from you, all your possessions, everything that you literally have. And then still not questioning God, like, God, okay, this happened to me. So if this happened to me, then I know that you have a reason and a purpose for it. I know that's for me, it's extremely hard to do. I'm a real person. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. You gotta have as much faith as you can, but in my heart and in my soul, sometimes when stuff happens, I'm like, God, come on. Like, what lesson you trying to show me right here? I need you to talk to me, okay? But then at the end of the day, you always know, like when you look back on everything you've been through in your life, the fact that you got through it, you know that, okay, I can get through anything because the stuff that I've been through, I got through and I'm still here. Yeah. And then the second week we read Proverbs. Proverbs was good. I've read that book so many times in my life though. So it was just like Proverbs, y'all know that's the book of wisdom. Okay. So that's just the book of wisdom. And so then like I feel like Proverbs is a good book if you don't really know who you are. All the books of the Bible are good regardless, but Proverbs is a good book if you just like really, I think some people struggle with like making just like life decisions. Like it's certain stuff, you know, people sin on things that you know you're not supposed to do, but your flesh, we as human beings, we live in three parts. We have our mind, body, and our spirit, and our flesh is always in alignment with our spirit. Our spirit always wants something opposite of what our flesh wants. Our spirit is like our truth and what we know and what we need to do, and then our flesh is like, I'm gonna equate it to fitness, right? Like, most people don't want to work out, but then you know that you need to work out. Okay, that's kind of like the spirit and the flesh. Not really, but I'm just kind of putting it in everyday terms. Or you know that you don't need to eat no BS, but then you go eat it anyways. That's like, okay, not discipline, right? Your flesh as a human being, even if you fornicate, okay, even though that might be TMI for some people, but you know that you should not fornicate, but a lot of people still fornicate, okay? And your flesh wants something that is in complete controversy with what your spirit and living as the ultimate being that God has created you to be is. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of just like, as a human being, you have to like literally find your place and like, I'm not gonna preach out tonight, okay?
Keep preaching. Girl, you're doing a ministry. Keep going.
Right there. Okay.
Keep going.
Keep it going.
Oh my God, I don't know what else to talk about. But no,
So
that's
basically,
like, I mean, really, that's it. So I told her we needed to read Ecclesiastes because I think a lot of people, you know, when you come to a certain level of success or whatever, I feel like people should always be humble and never forget where you came from. And even when you come to a certain position or a standpoint, you still need to treat people the way they need to be treated, because at the end of the day, God could take everything away from you at any given point in general. That's why I feel like it's super important that I do Sunday calls. Like, no matter how big I get or how much money I make or whatever, at the end of the day, it's just money. And I realize that, and I will never forget that. You know, because
we can't take any of this with us.
And not only that, I was having a conversation with my friend, you know, like I remember when I used to like scroll through social media a long time ago, and like you see people who, like, I can't even say wealthy, because I feel like half these people just got bad credit and they just buy everything with their credit and they don't really got money in the first place. Like, now that I'm older, but like when I was like in college, like my first few years of college, and you like Instagram first started getting like off, right? When I grew up, my godparents were like in the music industry and stuff like that. So like I knew a lot of famous people, and I used to be like, oh my God, I want this, right? But my mom was a teacher, okay? And Jessica couldn't get this, everything she wanted. So I remember I could not wait for the day where I could just buy whatever I wanted to, okay? And then when I got to that place, like, yo, when I tell you, I was telling my friend the other day how many Chanel shoes I have that I have never worn, how many Dior purses that I have that I'm just like, yo, like, you spent $5,000 on a purse for what? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you get to a place where it's just like, well, what is it for? And then you feel like you just lived in a complete, like, I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's like you live in a place of, I
Like a
can't,
mirage.
Fantasy.
no, like, I can't say illusion. You live in an illusion, right? Like, you live in an illusion of things that you think that you want, and you think that the grass is greener on the other side. Then you get to the other side, you be like, bro, this ain't green. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you still go through the same stuff. Like, I was just going through a bad, like, relationship dissolve in my life, and it really hurt me, right? Because I'm the type of person, like, I don't have a lot of friends, no matter what people think in terms of, like, you know, some people see me on social media like, oh, she might be social, she this, she that. I have very few friends, okay? Now I have a lot of mentees and I have family, but most of my friends are my family. And if you get in a space where I'll call you a friend, I will give you the shirt off my back. And I feel like everybody doesn't move the same way. And I'm a Libra, I'm very emotional. So my entire life, I used to have a lot of friends when I was younger. And then I learned, like, no, people are not going to do for you like you do for them. And I used to be disappointed a lot. So I got to a place where this might be bad, but I have a wall up, like, where I don't really let people, it take a lot for me to call somebody a friend. So this certain person, I feel like they, like, used me in a sense, and it really hurt my feelings, like, for real. And so I was just like, dang, like, I got all this, and everybody be like, oh, Jessica this, Jessica that, but Jessica is sad right now, okay? And I was like crying like every day for a minute, and dealing with stuff that my dad was going through. Like, no matter how much money you got, no matter what you, like, want in life, your health come first, God come first, but taking care of your body, your health, like, shit can happen to anybody, and never forget it. And so, all right, I'm done now. I don't have nothing else to say. Okay. But just
Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you,
good.
Deb.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
Yes, you
Can I just
are.
say the same?
Thank you
Can I just
for
say,
sharing, love.
hey, Jessica,
huh?
can I say the same way that we trust God as a provider, trust him as a healer, okay?
Oh, thank
My
you.
mom just beat cancer for like 3 years, and if it had not been for like me and my sister trading, like we never would have been able to cover like her medical expenses. And it's just like God completely like restored her, redeemed her. So it's just like,
Wow.
yeah, just have faith, man. Just have faith.
Amen.
That is
Amen.
so beautiful, Kurt. That's so beautiful. Nice to meet you. I appreciate that. Because it's true. God is a healer. And I feel like sometimes you allow your emotions to, like, get to a space where you are so intertwined with how you feel that you're not really, like, really trusting. Like, people say they got faith. People say, like, oh, I got faith, until they go through something. And it's like, you really have to lean on that faith and, like, know without a shadow of a doubt that everything gonna be okay, but your feelings not okay. And what you see is not okay. And that's where you got to come into the place of, like, no, like, the word is your bind, and it's your medicine, and that is everything. Like, people that don't believe in God, I don't even know how they survive. Like, I can't imagine, like, when something wrong, what do you do?
People can pray.
Like, I really want to, like, not to say I want to know somebody who, I mean, maybe I do know people that don't believe in God and they just never told me, but, like, for me, I just can't imagine, like, I can't imagine, like, not knowing God. I can't, you know? Like, it's like
Yes, I know. Yes.
everything.
People can have all the facts in the world, but God is truth. He says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So it doesn't matter what the facts look like, you know what I mean? It's the truth of the matter, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey
This is
guys,
so
a little
awesome. I am
short
so
thing.
enjoying this.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica, know that God is God. Once you stay true to God, He's going to heal your father. Just stay true to Him. The Word of God says, when you pray, believe that you receive it and you will have it. And so please do that. God raised me from the dead. I died when I had my second son, Jessica. I died when I had my second son. So for that, I can tell you, there truly is a God. And I didn't have a personal relationship with him, but now I do, because he, from that day, have never been the same. So you trust in God, believe in him with all of your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and he will see you through.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I appreciate that. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all. So y'all have a wonderful night, y'all. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for blessing us.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Thank
Love you.
Bye.
Love y'all.